Hello, my friends. I have another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Yankee Candle's Lilac Blossoms. Now, if you caught my video on Easter Bouquet the other day from Yankee Candle, you may be a little bit surprised to see that I have done 2 Yankee Candle reviews in 1 week. To be honest with you guys, Yankee is probably the brand of the major 4 that I purchase from that I tend to purchase from the least. And a lot of that has to do with just their burn quality and performance. I honestly kind of put them in the same category as Bath and Body Works. They are very hit or miss for me. And up until recently, I have found that a lot of the Yankee candles, they either come in like a medium-sized jar or a large-sized jar. And honestly, I don't want that much of a candle to try out, especially when they are so hit and miss for me. But a couple of months ago, they released this new 3-wick format. This is their new 14.5 ounce 3-wick vessel. Same exact size, you guys, as Bath and Body Works, Goose Creek, Kringle has a 3-wick format like this. I'm thinking those are like the major 3 that just come to mind at first. But this will fit in a lot of the candle accessories that are designed for that type of format. And honestly, I think you guys, this was a really good marketing strategy for Yankee to go ahead and go that route. Yes, they still offer their paraffin wax candles in the apothecary style jar. Yes, they still offer the 2-wick tumblers, but I do think that this is a smart marketing move to just kind of expand to other buyers like me who kind of don't really want that much candle, but I would be willing to give them a try in a 3-wick like this. So the fragrance notes of Lilac Blossoms here, top notes of Dewy Greens, Water Lily, Bergamot, mid notes of Lilac Petals, Hyacinth, and Tulip bulbs, base notes of Cedarleaf, Vetiver, and Moss. All right, you guys, that's a whole lot of notes listed to basically just tell you guys that however they come up with it, this candle smells like lilacs to me. Now, if you've been with my channel for a while, you guys do know that the fragrance of lilacs, particularly in the springtime, is a very nostalgic scent for me, and I can talk about that at the end of this video. But I definitely know what fresh lilac smells like, and this one, you know what, you guys? I actually really like it. Now, when I got this candle on cold sniff, I was detecting something a little bit powdery in there, and that was making me a little bit nervous. I was like, ooh, I think it may have been the Cedarleaf and the Vetiver in that base note. However, I was very, very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that when I lit this candle up, that powdery note went away for me. So that has honestly been a reason why it reminded me a lot on cold sniff of Bath and Body Works Fresh Cut Lilacs. And both of those fragrances, to me, there's just something on cold sniff that's a little bit powdery, and I was like, ooh, I don't want that note in there. I just want the lilac fragrance. Now, you guys know that my favorite lilac candle is Fresh Lilac from Kringle Candle, and honestly, I will still give that one the #1 spot for me. However, this one is very nice, and I do know that for some people this may be a little bit more accessible for them than the Kringle format. Now, I do believe that these candles retail for around, I want to say $26. I think they're around the same price point as a Bath and Body Works candle. This candle, it will be linked down below for you guys, so that way you can check it out. And Yankee Candle does run a lot of specials and coupons. I do notice that they run buy one, get one 50% off, or buy 2, get 2. I mean, they run a lot of sales. So if this one intrigues you, I would say definitely purchase it during a sale. In fact, I personally purchased it during, I think it was a buy one, get one type of sale. So the fragrance itself is really, really nice. It's definitely those lilac petals. I don't really get the branch note that I get when I smell Kringle Candles Fresh Lilac. In fact, I have Kringle's Fresh Lilac right in front of me, so I'm going to compare fragrance notes. And it's funny because they list very different ones here. My label is kind of messed up, you guys, but they have lilac, floral musk, freesia, magnolia, sweet pea, those notes kind of listed in here, whereas you know, the Lilac Blossoms here with Yankee, they list a whole bunch of other notes. But again, I do think that the fragrances are similar, but I would actually probably rank this one next to my Fresh Lilac. It's been a very pleasant scent. I do like it, but it's still, the fragrance I think is just very nuanced. Probably most people wouldn't be able to pick up the difference, but I do detect just a little bit more of Fresh Lilac is really a good name with the Kringle one, because I do detect, like, it just feels like it was just trimmed off of a lilac bush, whereas this is definitely more of an emphasis, I think, on the lilac petals. So I guess that's kind of the way that I would describe the differences, but they're both very, very pleasant. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle, because I know that this fragrance has actually been around Yankee for quite some time. The reason I'm really doing this review is because it is in this new 3-wick format, and I did want to provide a review on the burn quality, strength, throw, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up. You can see that I've burned over halfway on this candle. The flames are still doing pretty decent for me. They're not as high as they were in the beginning, but one of the great things you can see here is that there is no sooting going on around the rim. I do believe that Yankee uses a soy paraffin type of blend in their wax formula, which sometimes can burn pretty dirty for me, but so far so good. This candle I did burn on my little quilt rack out in the living room that you guys see in the B-roll there. And from that standpoint, outside of a hurricane, when I initially lit this candle, you guys, this was a solid 8.5 without a hurricane. Now, a lot of floral fragrances, they're either gonna be light or they're gonna be really, really strong. And I was very happy that this candle was throwing so well. It threw all the way into my kitchen. For reference, my home is about 1,800 square feet, built in 2004, high ceilings in the living room that opens up to the kitchen, more closed concept, lower ceilings in the bedroom. But this one, it threw really, really well for me. I also live in Arizona, so our ambient temperature right now is probably a little bit warmer than a lot of other areas of the country, unless you're in the South. But right now, ambient temperature is around 70 degrees. And yes, you guys, this one is just, it threw really, really well for me. And it pulled out well. Strength, I mean, you could definitely smell it all throughout the living room, all throughout the kitchen. Now, the one thing that I will say is that I did notice once it hit the halfway mark, again, those flames were just not as high as they were initially in the beginning. And I did notice that that kind of impacted the strength and throw. So I will say that if I want to keep this candle performing at that strength and throw of around an 8, I do pop it into a hurricane. However, if I were to place this one into my bedroom, I would honestly not use a hurricane in a smaller space, just because, like I said, then it might be a little bit too strong in a smaller space. But yeah, without a hurricane, from the beginning, it was doing really, really well. It lessens a little bit after the halfway mark, but it's still burning well for me. The wax pool is developing well. I'm not having issues with drowning wicks or uneven wax pools. So far, you guys, I'm pretty impressed with these new 3 wicks from Yankee. I would definitely purchase more of them. I do have one more currently in my collection. So if they release new fragrances in this format, I would definitely be intrigued to purchase more of them. You guys know that I am trying to be very intentional this year about what I am bringing into my candle collection. But for me, I think this is going to be the route that I'm going to go with Yankee Candle moving forward. Just like I've said with Kringle, if I could, I would prefer to buy all of my candles from Kringle in their 3-wick format. This for me personally, you guys, and I know that this doesn't apply to all of you guys, but as somebody who reviews candles here on YouTube, I like to be able to finish my candles, and because I'm constantly in a place where I am feeling the need to review a lot of new stuff for all of you guys, I like to be able to finish my candles in a shorter amount of time, which is why I personally like the 3 wicks. Now, I know that not everybody, that is actually probably a minority of the candle community, are us reviewers. The rest of you guys, if you're spending money on a candle, you're going to want the most bang for your buck. But if you also like 3-wick candles, then I would say that this is going to be the route to go. Also, we were getting a brief appearance there in the background from Ruby the Ruthless, my female ginger cat back there. She's up from her nap. So anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment box down below, are lilacs a fragrance that you enjoy in the springtime? I told you guys at the end that I would let you guys know why it's such a nostalgic fragrance, and I know if you've been with me for a while, you guys know this. Lilac is very nostalgic to me because my mother always bought lilacs from a fresh from a little orchard that was about a mile from my house growing up. I grew up in Southern California, and lilacs were just always synonymous with the springtime. I remember my mom cleaning house on the weekends. I mean, she would get the house nice and spick and span, and then she would decide to go ahead and treat herself to some fresh lilacs and put them up on the mantle. My mom has now been gone for 7 years, and so that is why it is just a very nostalgic scent to me. And you're also getting a brief appearance there from my son, who is home from school today, in the background there. Anyways, it just carries such a nostalgic memory to me, and I always think of her, and I love this fragrance, especially around Easter. If you were to ask me, hey, what fragrance is your number one that you're always going to burn at Easter time, I will tell you that it is a lilac fragrance. So yes, let me know in the comment box down below if you found this video helpful. Is this a fragrance that you were intrigued by? Are you interested in some of these Yankee 3 wicks? I would be curious to know. I also picked up a 3 wick in the fragrance Pink Sands, which again, I know that's not a new fragrance, but that is one that I've had from them in the past, and I do really enjoy it. Yeah, this one's good. It gets 2 thumbs up from me, you guys. I've been pretty impressed with it, and I hope Yankee keeps it up with this good performance. Thumbs up if you found this video helpful. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out with the old YouTube algorithm. I do also want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you like candle content. I like to do dedicated reviews like this. I have a bi-monthly candle chat series where I give some fragrance combo recommendations, as well as give you kind of like some real-time updates on how candles are burning for me. I like to do empties. What else do I do? Hauls, everything in between, you guys. Lots of candle talk here, so if you like candle content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today, and until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye!